Are we live? Oh, we're doing this right now. Welcome back,
Oh,
everyone, to College Football Show. There's Cooper. There's Adam. I'm Damien,
This is so
and
weird.
this is in memory of Hank, who notoriously decides to start the show with very low energy all the time, and then decides to ditch us to go to Hawaii and not be our friends for 2 weeks.
may he
So
rest in peace.
may he rest in peace, and buy a $15 Braden Shager card that's really worth $1.
99 cents, actually.
Well, yeah, pretty much, plus shipping and handling. So when you really factor it in. Anyways, that's that. Welcome in, everyone, to the College Football Show. I am
Show.
Damien, show with Adam and Cooper. So this week we're going to talk about Week 12 rankings. We got the wild coaching carousel news that's been going on. We'll talk about Week 12 Heisman rankings. Adam has a crash out section that he wants to just go ape shit on. Whatever. Week 13. And then we'll track some of the G5 games too, because they have a shot at the college football playoff, obviously. So, Adam, you were dying last week.
Dying the last 2 weeks.
That's true.
Actually, I've been dying the last 3 weeks. But
Whose fault's
me
that?
and all my glory, I decided that I wanted to go out and sit out in the snow to watch Notre Dame Navy and yell and scream for 6 hours while sick. And I couldn't talk for the next week. I had a real life injury. I barely made it. You guys are lucky I'm here.
Mm-hmm. This is a game time decision.
Game time decision. This might be the first show I'm not in the last month that I'm not going to be having to mute my mic every 2 seconds to start hacking. So that should be fun.
Yeah. Cooper, you did a solo pod last week.
It was awesome.
I'll screw
If
that.
you guys did not check it out, you should all go check it out. I sat for an hour straight and I talked about a ton of different stuff. Some generalized stuff, some stuff that happened from last week, but I think it's worth a listen to. You should hear me because I went and bashed on all these other two guys for an hour straight.
I like how you said all these other two guys.
Yeah,
like, that's a lot of them. All of them.
Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Cooper.
Yeah,
if you can
really
talk, bro.
Yeah, if you really did miss it, Cooper, what he really did is when he got to the ranking segment, he just pulled the coaches poll, the AP poll, the college football poll, the BCS poll. He just pulled up all of that and then made it his rankings. And we're like, see, I'm just so right. Look at those other idiots. They're not here to say anything.
See what I mean? Everybody that watches at home.
ESPN talking points. It was the episode for you.
Yeah. If you like ESPN, that was your show last week. So go tune into that one. But let's start at Week 12 because there were some big games and some shakeups that happened in the college football playoff with that. And let's start no better place than OU Bama, that saw Oklahoma go into Bryant-Denny, Saban Field, and win 23-21 against Alabama. There was a really close game, back and forth. John Mateer, Hank's not here to be the John Mateer hater, so we're gonna love John Mateer again. So Adam, going through that game, watching it. I mean, I don't know how much you were really watching with Notre Dame Pitt on at the same time, but what were you thinking?
I mean, look, I'm just glad that Bama didn't let me down and did indeed lose another game, as I've been saying the rest of the season. I'm very happy for that. John Mateer is awesome. He's going to win the Heisman next season.
Might win it this season.
Get back on the Mateer train. It's happening.
We're on it.
But, dude, Bama, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. Yeah. I tried telling you, Cooper. It was going to happen.
The best part about it is when we get to the rankings and Cooper still has them top 5.
Oh, no. My ranking is very different this week.
Ooh.
They're very different.
Ooh. All right.
They had me worried. I was scared that they weren't going to lose another game, but they clutched up for me.
I mean, I think the real thing about this is how Oklahoma won this with 212 total yards to Alabama's 406 total yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Oklahoma only had 138 passing yards. They had 74 rushing yards. Like, that's not – I mean, we all know Brent Venables is so good with his defense, but to see that discrepancy in offensive numbers, right? Like, Alabama was actually really good on offense. And they were good on defense. It was timely moves there. Cooper, what were you thinking?
To Adam's point, yeah, I mean, they've been teasing this loss for weeks, and I kind of just thought that they were going to continuously keep eking out these wins. they have looked like a really good team. It's been the thing that we've been talking about for weeks is that it's just on the shoulders of Ty Simpson to carry this team, and he's carried them as far as until now. That Oklahoma loss to me, I think, is it's a pretty big ding in the rankings. I think it probably, 10 is about the right spot mostly for them right now. But I still feel like they'll be fine come the playoffs time. I feel like they'll be okay. But it's a tough loss. Like you said, like you look at the box score, you feel like they should have destroyed them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really much was like that. And speaking of box scores and kind of looking at that and it not really living up to what you thought the game actually was like, that's what happened in Texas and Georgia, right? Like if you look at the box score for that game, it's like 274 yards, 357, total yards there. Both had one turnover. Passing numbers relatively close. Rushing numbers, Georgia had a big rushing number advantage, but you don't think that was a 25-point difference, 35-10 looking at the box score there. What it really comes down to is 9 penalties for 58 yards for Texas, 1 penalty against Georgia for 15 yards. Like, that's a big discrepancy there. But are we more shocked? I don't want to say more shocked, but like Texas has been doing this, right? Like they've been having the up and down. You think they have a shot and then they are so bad. I thought they finally had found their groove a little bit maybe going into this game, and then they just turned into classic Texas again.
Dude, I don't know why everyone forgot Texas wasn't ranked like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't 2 weeks ago, but it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I ranked it that way. Of course, I didn't get to show off my rankings last week, but spoiler, I didn't even have Texas in the top 12. They're not good.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I will say for the first time all season, though, I did feel at least a little impressed by Georgia. Feel like all year they were just kind of playing with their food, and I'm just kind of like, can y'all like do something? Make me feel like I can justify putting you in that 4 or 5 spot or wherever you need to be. Gunnar Stockton looked great too.
Yeah, he did.
I would have talked all the shit in the world about Gunnar Stockton 2 weeks ago. Yeah. He looked pretty damn good. You know what year he is off the top of your head?
Let me look.
Future might be bright. He's a junior.
Junior.
So I don't know if that's redshirt junior. They might get 2 more years.
I think it's a true junior.
True junior. Okay.
Yeah. So he could come out this year, especially with them having Julian Sayin coming in. Not Julian Sayin. Jared Curtis. Sorry. The number 1 quarterback, Jared Curtis, is committed to Georgia. So who knows with that one? But I'm trying to see.
Last few weeks, man, he has really put up some good numbers.
He's
been quiet, but
it's been a slow process for him. I feel like the beginning of the year was kind of a bit of a struggle, and now he's starting to really feel his own. And I don't think he should come out yet. I think he should come back for another year at least, and raise his draft stock that much more. And then plus, NIL, you'll still get paid, buddy. Like you'll be okay.
It's going to be interesting. With Adam and I were talking about this on Sunday, I believe. Like you're going to probably see some interesting quarterback decisions this year based off of the next year's class. Like 2027's class looks very strong, and 2026's class at this moment, with everyone projected to come back, right? Like Dante Moore comes back, your Archer's coming back, like all that. It's like Fernando Mendoza, and then like Lenora Sellers.
Mm-hmm.
You have the argument where if Gunnar Stockton goes out, like he could be the second quarterback off the board, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he could. I mean, it depends. Even if you get into the process or whatever, people might like him more than Fernando Mendoza. Like, you might have the argument to come out now.
People really
it'll be
like
interesting
those
to
Georgia
watch.
Quarterbacks too. They really like those Georgia quarterbacks. I never do. I don't claim it, but man, do people like those Georgia quarterbacks. You're right though. It feels like it's Fernando Mendoza and then everybody else.
Yeah, it's
pretty
really
rough. We're in for a treat next year in college football, though. That's for damn sure.
So let's transition to talking about Notre Dame and Pittsburgh now. Notre Dame went into Pitt 137-15. Jeremiah Love, 147 rushing yards there. This Notre Dame defense just had Pittsburgh stifled. 219 total yards, 387 for Notre Dame there. Notre Dame they had a lot of penalties that were very avoidable, but they were still able to pull it off there. So, Adam, obviously our resident Notre Dame fan, what were your thoughts with this game?
Excuse me?
With the cat. Dip out.
Apologize. No, man, no, it was a very dominant game, especially defensively. I mean, most of those stats that Pittsburgh kind of got down was garbage time at the end of the game. It was one of the more dominant performances, and Pittsburgh does have a good offense. Notre Dame's defense continues to prove that, hey, like, we might have the best defense in college football every week in and week out. So another impressive win. I mean, they tried their best. It looked like early that 110-10 prediction that the Pitt coach made before the game last week damn near wanted to come true. But yeah, another great performance.
Yeah, cool.
Notre Dame is slowly but surely reminding everybody that they should be considered a top 5 team right now. I mean, people won't put them top 5 in the rankings, but if you look across the other teams that have kind of slowly, like teams that have been in the top 5 for their rankings, bouncing up and down with losses, they have been one of the most solid teams week in and week out for the last how many weeks since their 2 losses to start the season. And how Jeremiah loves playing and how that defense is looking. I'm loving Notre Dame more and more every week, and getting that ranked win over Pitt, that's a legit win, and how dominant it was.
You can make that argument that peaking at the right time. You got those teams. Miami peaked early. You can make that argument. Miami peaks early. Man, like, they're really starting to hit their strides at the right time.
It's the age old thing that we talk about. Like, losing early in the season doesn't hurt you as much as losing late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact, right? And both Notre Dame's losses are good losses, right? Like Miami, you could say whatever, but that was a 3-point loss, first one. Against Texas A&M, again, a 1-point loss. That's the number 3 ranked team right
Tyler
now.
Buckner can't hold a damn.
Yeah, and they had a chance to win that one. So I think they are looking very good right now. And I think CJ Carr is kind of settling into finally having that role as the starter. Let's talk about Iowa and USC, because this was a game that was in a downpour as well in Southern California. It was a very Iowa-ish game from it. USC ended up scoring the final 19 points to keep the college football playoff hopes alive there to win 26-21. And then we will preview that game in a little bit because they're going to face Oregon in Eugene this week. But Adam, what do you think about USC and this Iowa game and then their outlook moving forward?
And you could arguably say this is the best win that Lincoln Riley's had at USC. Just from the perspective of where they're at right now, maybe outside looking in on the playoffs. Playing at Iowa in a rainstorm.
It was in USC.
Was it really?
It was in Southern Cali.
It was raining?
It was, yeah. That's been
crazy.
We've had a big.
You're in Iowa's, regardless, you're in Iowa's wheelhouse there, right?
Yeah. Speaking of, we were talking about Iowa's wheelhouse and raining. What about that Oregon-Iowa game that you said Iowa was going to win?
I was
make some money.
I was delusional.
Oh, okay.
They covered.
All right.
They covered. Why wouldn't you just bet the spread?
You said take money line. You told everyone
crazy.
Take outright. That's
crazy.
Pull up the reposits.
That's crazy. Just bet the spread, guys. Come on. Oh. No, great win for USC though. Very impressed with USC. USC with a gritty ass win. I think everyone's kind of been waiting to see that from them.
Cool.
If not, it's definitely their best win of the season. This next week will be the real test. But to piggyback off your guys' point, yeah, the elements played right into Iowa's hands. And I had, I think I remember it was Iowa was the underdog there, but I had Iowa covering. And
yeah, it was 6.5.
Yeah. And so the fact that USC was able to pull that out against Iowa, extremely impressive win. I'd have to go back and look at all of the past how many years that Lincoln Riley's been at USC to see if it really is his best win there. But if it's not his best win, it's top 3.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is one of those you're completely out of your element. It completely plays in the other team's element, and Iowa, their record might not show it, but I feel like Iowa is legitimately a very good team.
Yeah. I mean, Iowa's never a bad team, right? Like,
Yeah.
they might not be the superstar team, but they're never a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
They always do the fundamentals really well. You get into these dogfights with them, and they're just going to find a way sometimes. And sometimes they lose the close ones, which is what happens when you always play those type of games, right? But
They
they're
learned about the forward
hard-nosed team.
passes this year.
They did do that.
I mean, that they're on their way.
Yeah, just continue it. We'll see. Talking about another team that figured out the forward pass a little bit this year, Navy. Let's go to that Navy USF game, because if you guys weren't paying attention, this was a electric game. 38-41, Navy beats USF to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. Man, this was a back and forth. Navy first dominated, then USF came back. Navy pulled back away. USF came trying to roar back again. 20, what was that? There's 39 points in the fourth quarter. It's like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy between these two teams too. So Navy getting the big win there. Shout out to Hank, who is our Navy fan here. I think I was rooting for USF because I just wanted Hank to suffer. Who?
Cares.
Got him. Not our friend. But Cooper, what do you think about this game?
I did not catch this game, but I bet. I'm sorry, not committed. But I bet Navy in this game solely based off of the fact that after Navy lost pretty badly to Notre Dame, I said to myself, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's the American Conference. American Conference should just be like labeled as the chaos conference, because it seems like every single week when you think that somebody's, USF will get the easy win or Memphis will get they're destined to blow it in some way, shape, or form. And so I'm not surprised, honestly, the fact that Navy was able to pull it out based solely off the fact of how chaotic this conference is. It's surprising to me, honestly, since we're talking a little bit about the American, that they got Tulane ranked over somebody like North Texas. And like even some of those other teams around there, in not just the American, but James Madison, like not being ranked higher.
Yeah.
Like that spot now with that G5, again, you'd think that it's for sure going to be one team or another. Like it seems like it's constantly rotating week in and week out of who is going to be that G5 team.
Yeah. Coming into this game, I'll play a game because I don't know if you guys have actually looked at it yet or not. Coming into this game, if I told you the over-under on yardage was for total as a game was 750, what would you think?
I mean, I would have taken the under.
Adam?
Going into it?
Going into it.
I probably would have said over.
They had over
maybe some shootouts.
They had over 1,000 combined total yards in this game.
Jeez.
It was 556 for USF, 524 for Navy. And just to make it even better, the 524 for Navy, they had 147 yards from their passing leader. It was 147 yards. Their rushing leader had 126 yards. It was just everyone. Like it wasn't even.
It wasn't even
like
the same guy
Horvath
this week, which is rare for them. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even Horvath. And then meanwhile, South Florida, Byron Brown has the most passing yards and rushing yards on their team, combined for like 500 total yards.
Now, did you see the most hilarious part of this box score? Their leading leading passer. They had two guys with passing yards. Leading passer, Blake Horvath with 147 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Leading receiver, Eli Heidenreich with 146 yards.
Yeah. On 5 catches, right? It was like 5 catches for 146.
Yeah, that is
crazy.
Awesome.
Absolutely crazy.
Long of 82. I don't know if you saw that play, but that was beautiful.
This game was everything you could have wanted in a college football game. It was electric.
If
and
you're not
we'll-
watching American football, you are missing out. It is
Yeah.
the best product on football fields week in and week out right now.
Well, don't disrespect Maction like that ever again, pal. All
I-
right.
On the weekends, it is the best.
Outside of the
I
island.
fixed it.
Outside of the island, that's the best.
The island should join the American.
Oh, well, let's stay in the American and talk about the other big time game that was there. Memphis versus ECU. ECU trying to salvage their shot at a college football playoff, beat Memphis 31-27, dropping Memphis to 8-3, but 4-3 in the American now. Their hopes are gone. ECU's 5-1 in the conference now. Even though they're 7-3 overall, 5-1 in the conference, they have a legit shot at going to the conference game there. This one was another one. 457 total yards for Memphis, 454 total yards for East Carolina. It was just a offensive shootout back and forth. This was a little bit later night of a game, I believe. So I don't know if you were able to catch much of this one, but it was pretty fun.
The shift at the end there, I was just looking at this one. I did not get to watch this one live, but ECU with that late score to win the game was definitely changed the win probability rating on this one. It's one of those ones where, oh, hey, we're at 80% for Memphis, and now you lose.
Yep.
Well, you notated the question on there whether or not that ECU could still make the playoff if they win the conference. And I feel like by a default on... Man, I just want to say whoever wins the American should get it because it's probably I'd damn near put them toe to toe with the ACC. Fight me.
I mean, the only other one's JMU. I mean, they're undefeated.
And that's the thing. It's for me. I want to just put the American champion in there de facto at this point.
Yeah,
it won't happen. It's gonna if we're standing pat, East Carolina wins the American, and JMU wins out. They're gonna give it to JMU.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen.
I mean, there's a real shot that you have 4 teams end up with 1 loss here in the conference. Really, because none of the top 4 play each other again.
Which is interesting. Yeah, they all beat up on each other because all the top 4 like 2 weeks ago did play each other.
Yeah,
it just keeps changing. It's great.
Yeah. So that's the recap for week 12. So let's get to some of the coaching carousel news, which has been really fun. First off, we'll start with James Franklin being hired by Virginia Tech, which is a move that I know you guys have talked about basically should happen from the moment he got fired. And Brent Pry, who was his former DC at Penn State, got fired. Everyone's like, Virginia Tech has all of the makings to be one of the top jobs in the country. And like, if you're a free agent coach this year, why wouldn't you want to go there, right? Like, you go to the ACC. If you get the commitment you think you're going to get, you can make that place into a really, really good stop for you. James Franklin, there's been some back and forth. Was he going to go to Arkansas? Was he waiting on Florida State to potentially open up? I think it was Tuesday? It was Monday or Tuesday? Monday. He officially accepted the Virginia Tech job. We still don't know the actual terms of that, but we know that he got a settlement of $9 million from Penn State for his buyout from $49 million. So Penn State saved $40 million basically on that buyout, which is at the time
crazy.
That was before Brian Kelly got fired. We were like $50 million buyout. Like, what the hell is going on? They saved $40 million on that deal. But like, it's absolutely crazy. Adam, what do you think about Franklin's fit in Blacksburg?
Well, first off, Penn State made out like bandits.
Yep.
Out of that, and good for them. Great fit, makes sense. It might feel a little underwhelming. Like you could make the argument, hey, like James Franklin go to maybe a bigger school. Maybe that's what more people saw, but. No, it really makes sense. And it really makes sense for Virginia Tech. I mean, if you're Virginia, I don't know what more you could ask for. That's a home run hire for them.
Yeah.
They'll be happy to win 10 games every year.
Yeah.
And lose in the conference championship. I mean, like whatever it is. Like if that's what they'll happily take that.
Yeah. Cool.
It is probably the best I think we should give a shout out to our no longer friend Hank. He was the one that really pointed it out to start. I guess I'll be the only one to acknowledge it. But for sure, I think that this is probably the best spot for him. The ACC in general, obviously, I think is the best spot for him. It is, in a lot of ways, wide open to be what he really is, I feel like, which is a real team builder where he can really build that team back up into something that could contend at the top of the ACC every year. And he's probably the perfect coach for a school like that. That probably is going to be okay with what type of team that he will bring, which is, 9-10 wins maybe. Once he gets the team to where he wants it to be.
Yeah.
And compete for an ACC championship. I think it'll be kind of the same song and dance as you saw in Penn State. A lot of success once he gets the team that he wants. Not ever going to be obviously a national championship contender, but it'll be enough to have those people, have the Virginia Tech fans happy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, there was rumors that he's going to get, big NIL commitments from Virginia Tech there, where he can go do a lot. Staying close to the DMV area where he's recruited very well with Penn State. It's going to be kind of interesting to see, if he's able to pull it, maybe any of his Penn State commits, or if he's still able to recruit that place at a high level like he was with Penn State. But it's going to be an interesting few years to see how James Franklin builds that up, though. But let's talk about the Lane Kiffin news, because this is a saga for sure. So Lane Kiffin obviously is the coach at Ole Miss right now. There's been rumors, Florida was the job that's been eyeing him ever since Billy Napier was fired. Obviously, LSU fires Brian Kelly. They jumped to the top of wanting Lane Kiffin as well. So Ole Miss has had an offer on the table for Lane Kiffin to make him the highest paid coach in college football for a long time. It's like $13.5 million. He hasn't accepted it yet. And he's been kind of flirting with the idea of Florida, LSU, back and forth, right? Well, it was like last Thursday, there was some stuff from Florida people like, keep your phone on for Sunday. Mind you, Ole Miss and Florida were playing each other on Saturday. Sunday comes, oh, well, that might not be happening now. Monday comes, and all of a sudden, there's pictures from Baton Rouge people that Lane Kiffin's family is in Baton Rouge. His wife, his brother, and them are touring Baton Rouge and houses in colleges and stuff, or high schools. Well, in the meantime, we also find out he was in Gainesville on Sunday, the family, not Lane Kiffin, in Gainesville on Sunday doing the exact same thing with Gainesville. Well, then we get the ultimate, like on Monday, there's apparently an ultimatum thrown to Lane Kiffin that he must decide before the Egg Bowl, which is next Friday, on Black Friday, that he must make a decision by then on what he's going to do. Ole Miss wants a decision, basically, right? Because they need to get into the coaching carousel if Lane's going to leave. He goes on the Pat McAfee show in a pre-recorded, awkward interview, basically saying the ultimatum is not real. And basically that was, I love what we're doing here at Ole Miss. And that was basically it. Then he gets asked direct questions in press conferences like, do you think you're going to be coaching at Ole Miss? Well, I don't know why I wouldn't be. Well, you anticipate being here next year? I'm not going to talk about other jobs. So he's not denying anything. Like he could shut this down right now saying like, I'm going to be in Ole Miss, right? But then how do you deny that your family with pictures were in Gainesville and Baton Rouge back-to-back days after you beat Florida? You're a 10-1 team going to go to the college football playoff. And yet there's this thing where he might not even get to coach his team in the playoff because he has to sign a deal with another school beforehand. And they all want this apparently because they're on bye week this week before the Egg Bowl, which if a decision is made by that, he might not be able to coach the Egg Bowl even. They already said like, well, we already know who the interim coach would be. It's going to be Joe Judge. And it's just, this whole saga is wild right now. The message boards are crazy. If you
love
like message boards, dude, they're insane. There's an LSU one right now that has over 310 pages on a message board. It's insane, dude. But Adam, first off, what do you think about the whole Lane Kiffin saga? And then what do you think is his best fit, or what do you think he should do?
Well, for one, I think Ole Miss needs to quit trying to, if that is true, that they're doing this whole ultimatum thing, How about you embrace having your great coach while you're going into the playoffs? Because it's the last time you're gonna have him.
Like,
He ain't
partially
staying.
understand. I understand, like, hey, we just need a decision. Sure. But, like, don't give him an ultimatum. It's like, or what? Like, what if I don't tell you by that time what I'm going to do? Are you going to fire me?
Yeah,
That's the worst.
I don't understand the point in that at all.
Like, you could start a coaching search. You could start your own coaching search. Just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to need an ultimatum.
Good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. If that is truly what Ole Miss is doing, that's crazy. They need to not do that and focus on maybe trying to actually win something. As far as what he's gonna do, I've been very partial to Ole Miss because I just think that, or I'm sorry, to LSU, because I think that fits just awesome. That fits like a glove. His kids want to play for him. It's easy to recruit in LSU. You go out in the rest of the country and grab some of the best players.
Mm-hmm.
That has potential to be just crazy down there. Florida, whatever. Florida doesn't get me excited as for Lane, but he would be great there too. He'd be great at any of these schools.
And it's worth mentioning the family ties. His ex-wife, who's reconciled with her family's from Florida. Her dad was a Florida quarterback. They have ins with all that. Like high school, she went to high school in Florida. The high school football coach is one of her classmates, right? So that's where Knox Kiffin, the son, would go. So it is worth mentioning all of that stuff for Florida. That's kind of the pull there, is the family aspect of it, where then LSU might be the better job aspect of it, and then Ole Miss is home, where he rebuilt his image.
I prefer LSU's family.
There you go. What about you, Cooper?
But there's so much to unpack here.
Yeah,
you could spend an hour talking about this, like
more than an hour. Adam and I have.
I'm going to try to just say it in a concise way. The one thing I know for sure is that Lane loves this attention. He loves the fact that he has all these people talking about him, and he loves the fact that he has everybody in suspense and not knowing anything about what he is going to do. So that's the only thing I know for sure. As far as where he goes or what he does, I think it is those three options. He either stays or he goes to Florida or LSU. I don't think there's any other job out there that is even interesting. Now, with that said, the idea that he's going around all these other different places, interviewing other places, and to me, the ultimatum, honestly, is more so, maybe it isn't really like like a stamp ultimatum, like you need to do this. It's more so like, okay, we're getting so late into the season and we're getting so close to playing playoff games at this point. If you don't plan on coming back, we need to have somewhat of a game plan. So can you help us out, please? I feel like it's more so that type of an ultimatum. Like, okay, like at this point, you've put us in a spot where we have no other choice.
Yeah.
And when it comes to as far as which job he goes to, I feel like it's a coin flip. I feel like LSU is probably the better place to go. I mean, Florida's been kind of a mess the last how many years? So if you want to go to a team that's a bit more, has a bit more of a track record of being better lately, I'd go to LSU. I don't think Florida's a bad job comparatively. I think it would maybe take a bit more to build that team back up to what it was before. I think it is interesting, though, taking the Florida job. As far as the idea of him going back, though, I feel like if he was going back, or if there was any chance that he would stay at Ole Miss, it would have been figured out by now. I mean, Indiana figured it out with Kirk Cincinnati pretty quick. Nebraska figured it out with Matt Rule somewhat pretty quick. Like, they'd have a deal done already, and they would have already had this, finished. There would be no more talk about this.
Yeah. And with Ole Miss having the offer on the table to make him the highest paid coach ever, right, in the game right now, more than Kirby Smart, like, they're doing everything they can. And I understand it from their aspect, because also signing day, right? The early signing day is early December now. Like, it's just crazy with everything you have going on nowadays. Like, we had a coach fired and hired within the same season. How crazy is that as a college football fan, right? Like, this would barely be the time where we start hearing about coach firings 5 years ago. It's like this point in the season. And you had someone fired and hired. Like, I get it. I get what Ole Miss is doing. But at the same time, it's like, your guy's here, right? Like he's still coaching you right now. You can start your own search. You don't need to do this whole like, hey, you got to give us an answer because we need to know what to do. Just start your own search. Start putting out feelers, right? You can not have to interview someone until you get the actual thing, but you could start your own. Hey, you're doing what you need to do, your due diligence. We're going to do ours. But I agree with you. If you were going to stay at Ole Miss, you would have done it by now. You've had plenty of chances to say you were staying at Ole Miss. You haven't done it.
To be contrarian to Adam, I'll say he goes to Florida. But also that idea of like, this is a top 10 ranked team that is pretty much going to go to the playoffs. And imagine, to your point earlier about their head coach may not be even coaching for them in the playoffs anymore.
Yep.
The guy that built this team up to this point and got them to this point, he won't be coaching them, and he'll be going and coaching for somebody else, and he'll be sitting out the rest of the season. Like that to me is like crazy.
So question, do we Florida State Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin leaves?
That's a good question. That was going to be my other point to
Because,
like anybody else that could see an opening. That's the only other one I could see.
Because I mean, even if they win the Egg Bowl, I mean they're 11-1 at that point. But Florida State was undefeated, and they lost their quarterback, and they didn't get in. Do you do it to a team that lost their head coach? No, but
They're an
it's an
SEC
interesting
team. It won't happen.
That's true. It's an interesting concept, though. Like, what do you do? It's gonna be very interesting because within the next week, we're most likely gonna have to hear some sort of an answer, one way or the other.
I'll say we hear it by tomorrow. I think by tomorrow.
I think that soon, huh?
Because so I saw something weird. Like this is totally long shot conspiracy theory, something stupid. But that thing that Lane Kiffin posted today about like have an amazing day, and then there's a page in there that says day 224.
So his daily devotion he posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing those.
Okay, because I was saying like somebody was like tomorrow is page 225 and 225 is the Baton Rouge area code. I was like,
yeah, that's just that's more funny. It is kind of weird that like because he's been posting these. If you go back and read some of those, like with the day it coincides, dude, there's some like how does that line up? Because this is from the same thing. But if you want to look at that, go to Lane's Kiffin Twitter.
On the topic of these coaching searches, because we haven't heard anything about him whatsoever. Brian Kelly gonna have a job next season?
We'll see.
Do we actually think? Do we think he just retires and go shoots 95 on the golf course the next couple of years and
maybe
rides off in the sunset?
I'm gonna give you two options. Right. Well, there's three. It's either not coach, because I don't know if he will. Another one is potentially TV. He could do some TV work.
Oh.
Apparently, he's been floated out. Apparently, he's been floating for years looking for TV opportunities. And one, if he is going to coach, it's not open, but potentially look for it. Michigan State.
Right. Yeah.
If Michigan State moves off Jonathan Smith, I could see Brian Kelly getting that job and wanting that job. Other than that, I don't know. We
kind of touched on that one when after the firing happened. I kind of marked down as Michigan State as the one school that would make sense. I don't know if his ego would let him do it, but it would make sense. It would make sense. He coached up in Michigan for a long ass time, and then he coached down in Cincinnati and Indiana, or Ohio and Indiana for a long ass time.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
I mean, he could always go to Notre Dame when Freeman leaves. So
yeah, absolutely. Tommy Reese can come back. Tommy Reese can come back.
No, Tommy Reese is fine with Sturt right now.
Oh,
I could see him very easily sitting out a year and making people kind of forget how it ended in LSU, and then
I don't think
some of those other openings happen, they'd be like, "Oh, Brian Kelly's out there. Maybe we take him and give him another shot at a decent job."
I don't see him sitting out and coming back to coaching.
I could see it as a possibility. You never know.
He's old, man.
He's 64. Right?
Man's old.
People coach to their 70s now.
Yeah, but
some people are crazy like that. Look at Nick Saban.
Well, Brian Kelly's not Nick Saban. We can say
Brian Kelly can replace Nick Saban on game day when Saban goes to LSU.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's go to talking about top 12s now. If you want to know my top 12, I'm much like Cooper. Just pull up the college football rankings, and you'll see my top 12. I'm just going to go with those ones. But Adam, for the one person that's going to give us some hard-hitting analysis and some true rankings, why don't you go ahead?
All right, well, we starting. Where do you want to start? 12-1. You make the call. 25?
No,
I got him. I
have a full 25 too.
I got him.
I'm sure you do. But let me guess. Your 25 is Arizona State. Your 24 is Tulane. 23 is Houston. I bet that's it, Cooper, huh?
No, actually, it's not.
No, Adam. Let's do 1 through 12. Then we'll do G5, and then we'll do where we're at from there.
Alrighty. All right. First, you know who I got.
Ohio State.
Been this way the whole year because they deserve it. Not the whole year, most of the year. We got IU at 1. And I did make some notes because I thought it was interesting between this Indiana Ohio State debate. So we got some more matchups, some more common opponents in here. Of course, we know Cooper did not watch the Illinois-Indiana game. But Indiana did beat Illinois a lot more than Ohio State beat Illinois.
Fair.
But we also added UCLA to that list.
Oh, okay. Well, how'd that matchup go?
IU won by more.
Oh,
but
okay. Look at Cooper trying to Google search it right now.
Interestingly enough, Ohio State beat Wisconsin by more.
Oh, okay.
So Ohio State does put one in their cap there. They also beat Penn State by more. So that makes it 2-2.
Okay.
Right? So this is what goes on in my head, Cooper, when I'm deciding to pick who's number 1. Because it doesn't matter. They're going to play each other, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But, so we look at who has the best win. Cooper, can you answer the question for me of who has the best win between IU and Ohio State?
I know you're.
I believe Damien knows this one.
Too soon.
That would be Oregon, the Quacks for
in Eugene.
Yeah, a very impressive win, much more than beating Texas. That's for damn sure. Oh my goodness. Anyway,
I thought Cooper was walking out. I thought he was walking out there for a second.
Anyway, we got Texas A&M at 3. Honestly, 1 through 3, it feels like 1A, 1B, and 1C. You could rank Texas A&M at 1. I wouldn't even doubt you. I will say that South Carolina game was quite interesting. That comeback was something else. I don't know if I want to knock them for it or I want to say like, hey, that's what great teams do, just come back in a game like that. But I don't know. I ain't gonna touch them this week. But hey, if someone told me that you had them at number 1, I wouldn't argue with you. Definitely deserve it more than Ohio State. I should probably have Texas A&M at 2. Right, Cooper?
Keep going.
Anyway, another one that I'm sure will upset Cooper. I got Texas Tech at 4.
Okay.
Texas Tech, they've won every game that they've won by big margins. They got a top 11 win. They got a top 11 win on their resume. Their only loss being the game that they didn't have their starting quarterback. We touched on that before. I'm not knocking them for it. Probably a game they still had an opportunity to win. Probably should have won. But that's my top 4. Cooper.
Anyways, I have at my number 1 spot still unchanged until they actually lose a game or until they actually almost lose a game like my number 2 did. I have Ohio State at number 1, have blown out just about every single team that they have faced, have by far the best defense in college football right now. Regardless of, you can shake your head all you want, but it is true. Insane the gaps that they are winning by, and they rightly are ranked number 1 in the college football playoff ranking as well. Indiana's at 2 still for me. You failed to mention in that Penn State thing that they just about lost that game And if not for
In
that
a
amazing
whiteout.
drive by
On the
Mendoza,
road.
regardless, they only won by
Beautiful. That's what great
3,
teams do,
and
Cooper.
I will give Omar
That's
Cooper
what
all the
great
credit in
teams
the
do.
world. That was one of the best catches I've seen. For sure, the best catch I've
That
seen
was
all year.
amazing. Yeah.
But like one of the best catches I've ever seen. That was unreal. But still, it didn't change the fact that that was a much closer game than it probably should have been for your quote number 1 team. And they probably should have lost that game.
At
Keep
Penn
interrupting
State.
me. I gave you the floor and didn't interrupt you. Let me have my floor. Regardless.
Anyway, that's just.
I'm still giving them a credit enough to be number 2 because A&M just looking terrible in that first half last week. They're number 3 still for me. But that has me extremely worried because you can't fall behind that big to, an Indiana, an Ohio State, an Ole Miss or a Georgia or even any of these other teams, anybody you might play in the SEC championship game. You cannot fall that far behind and expect to come back like that. But they are still number 3. And at 4, I have Georgia. Georgia, I have still been kind of shaky on. I said it last week on my solo show. There's only like 1 or 2 teams coming into this week that I was for sure solid. Like these are true national championship contenders. It felt like everybody else behind, it could be a week to week that they could either look amazing or look terrible. We saw it with Alabama. Like they've been looking solid. They've been winning games, and then they come in this week and take another random loss to, an Oklahoma team that we weren't even really sure on. They struggled against Texas and lost to Texas. So like, it feels like there's you say 1A, B, and C. I say it's 1A and B. I'm not a big fan of A&M. I'm kind of more like, I feel like Indiana and Ohio State have really separated themselves from everybody else. But Georgia is 4, mostly just because they've continuously kept winning. They've got solid wins across the board. That Texas win, I know you really don't like Texas, Adam, but like they're still an SEC team that has looked better over these last how many weeks. They were a highly ranked team at the time that they beat them. So it's a legit win. So I got Georgia at 4.
Go ahead, Adam.
It was a good win over a bad Texas team, but I like I said earlier, it was probably my first time kind of actually being impressed with them. Like, okay, I feel good having them up here. They were in the same boat as Alabama, where I'm just like, all right, when you guys gonna drop one? Still might. They actually do have a game left, which a lot of these teams don't.
Yep.
Against Georgia Tech, so I can't wait for that game. Hopefully, it's a good one. So 5, we got UGA. 6, we carry on with Ole Miss. I just want them to lose already. 7, we got Oregon. This USC game this week feels very do or die for them. Like I kind of actually going into it, I'm kind of like, all right, we can either after this game, I feel like I can either be high on Oregon or finally get rid of them. Their schedule didn't do them any favors this year. The way things worked out, I think they're a good team though. We slot them in at 7. And we're going to 8. 8, I got Notre Dame.
Homer.
I like it. Don't badmouth him about that one. I like that one. All right. Somewhat similar, besides that Georgia Tech thing. At 5, I have Ole Miss. They have looked a lot better over the last couple of weeks, and I got them at 5, just behind Georgia because they lost Georgia. Texas Tech is 6. I'm liking them more and more every single week, mostly just because other teams are dropping off. 7, I agree. I have Oregon as well. This is a do or die game, like you said. True test for them. And then on top of that, the Iowa win, I think, is a legit win. That's a good team. Like I said, regardless of record, I like that win. And then 8, I also have Notre Dame.
You can call me a homer, but I'm the only guy on the show, Damien, who's not been high on Notre Dame until this week.
No, I'm just messing with you because our conversation on Sunday about the polls.
No,
and
100%.
that.
I know we had this whole conversation about like, oh man, like where are they gonna slot Notre Dame? Is it gonna be, because I at the time I felt like it was either gonna be behind OU and Alabama or in front of them, and they ended up just
Right in the middle.
right in the middle. So well, I didn't expect that on. I think some people did. I kind of thought it'd be one way or the other, but I will say 9 Oklahoma. Oklahoma has, who's it? They got LSU and was it Miss who's the other team they play? Is it Mississippi State or
It is
Missouri?
it's Missouri this week and then LSU.
Missouri and LSU. So they actually got 2 games left that are I would probably slot them up one more above Notre Dame if they went out. Those are 2 games. Notre Dame doesn't play anybody. They got Stanford and Syracuse. I mean, Notre Dame's just got to go out there and win by 50 and do their thing. So, and OU 9, probably move them up. They win these next 2 games. Missouri's still ranked in some polls. I don't know why. At 10 we got Bama, obviously behind OU. 11 I've got BYU, and 12 I've got Utah. De facto move up the group of 5 team right now. I've got James Madison at 21. It changes every week. This week it's James Madison. We'll let you know who it is next week.
You want to call me the SEC guy? Mine's a bit different.
Ooh.
I have BYU at 9.
Okay.
A team that only has 1 loss, some legit wins. I mean, East Carolina's kind of turned into somewhat of a legit win with them being better. Utah's a legit win. You know, the Texas Tech game, I feel like was just kind of an off game. They really played well against TCU. I got BYU at 9. 10, I have Oklahoma. I have not, up until this win, I've not, like they've been kind of up and down. The loss to Texas to me for Oklahoma was kind of like, all right, I'm going to back off on that. You guys can kind of stay in the teens for the rankings. But a win against Alabama, for me, they were number 4, going into this week. That's a legit win. You can move up into the top 10 for that. So I got them at 10. I got Utah at 11. They've looked really good. They got some legit wins as well. And I like their, if we're comparing losses at this point with all these other 2-loss teams, their losses are better than my 12th, which is Alabama. Looking back on it now, I have to compare all these other 2-loss teams. And up until this week, really, I haven't really looked at that Florida State game. But to Adam's point, as he's kind of pointed out these last couple weeks, that's a bad loss. And now that you're a 2-loss team and you're comparing it to all these other 2-loss teams, that Florida State loss is that much worse. So they're number 12. So they'd be my first team out. And my G5 school, I'm going to continue with the North Texas theme. I still feel like they're the best. I have them ranked 19th in my rankings right now, as far as G5.
You have James Madison ranked?
I have James Madison ranked 21.
So close.
Oh, wait. We matched up. I just got North Texas 1 slot behind them. Yeah, it changes every week. I do like your BYU up there. When I was making it, I probably sat there and thought about that one for like 10 minutes. It's like, do I want to pull the trigger on moving BYU above Bama? I think the big thing what did it to me is when I do these, I do try to 50-50 it, like eyeballs, results. My eyeballs kind of took over on that one. I'm like, because like BYU beat Bama. No, I don't think so. That's ultimately what it came down to. They could, but I don't think they would. Yeah. But I will say BYU with what they got the rest of the season, if they go to the Pac-12. Oh my goodness, the Big 12 championship, and they beat Texas Tech or something like that. Oh, up they go. They're gonna skyrocket.
Yeah.
I do have, and I know Damien was gonna be here initially, so I want to get Damien's take on this too. Texas Tech. I got them at 4. You got them at 5. I guess Damien has AP poll has them at 5. What do you guys think? Because you brought up the Florida State thing earlier. Texas Tech has an interesting situation where they don't have a backup quarterback right now.
Yeah.
What happens if Martin gets hurt? Obviously, if they win the Big 12, they're in.
Mhm.
We can't keep him out. Let's say that you got that Big 12 championship game, and Martin gets hurt, and then what?
I don't think you can bounce him out. If you're like saying like would they rank him like bounce him out of the playoffs? I don't think you can bounce him out of the playoffs. But
Why not?
I mean,
They
it's
have a
12.
precedent of doing it before.
Well, this is 12 teams. Technically 11 if you want to count the G5 schools the 12th. But like I don't to me if you end the season with one loss and you made it to the Big 12 championship game and in your scenario do they win or lose that game?
No, they if they win they'd be in. So let's
Yeah,
say,
so
let's
it
say
has to
they
be
lose
lost.
and Martin gets hurt.
So they lose. I don't think you can because I mean let's compare them to the other teams that are around there or would be around there. So
Well, let's say it's a 2-loss. Would you put in a 2-loss Miami team over a 2-loss Texas Tech team with no
That's
quarterback?
exactly what I was thinking.
Miami's losses are way worse.
But they don't
They
have a
are.
quarterback. Like, you
Understandable.
have to factor in part of the game. Would you put in a 2-loss Vanderbilt over
No.
that? Now, let's say USC beats Oregon this week. Would you put a 2-loss Oregon in over a Texas Tech that has 2 losses that lost their quarterback?
To me personally, I was not a fan of what was it? The Florida State got bounced because they lost their quarterback.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of that. I understand that the quarterback is the most important
No,
position.
I get
But-
you're not a fan, but it's the precedent
Yeah.
they've set. So that's the thing you have to go off of. It's not a fan of. It's the precedent they've set.
Okay, so I'll say in this scenario then, could I see it happening? Yes. Should it happen? No. Because just because one guy goes down, to me, you have earned your right to get into the playoffs regardless of who's left on your team. I don't care if your starting quarterback's hurt and you got to go to the backup or they don't even have a backup. I don't care. To me, the team has earned a spot and you should be rewarded for getting that spot. Even if you get blown out, 60 something to nothing because you don't have a quarterback and your team falls apart. It doesn't matter to me. You earn that spot, you should get that spot.
I don't disagree with you. The big reason I bring it up is because obviously they had done it before. But the other thing being, they've also actively have pretty much shown that, like, hey, if you go to your conference championship game and lose, we're not going to penalize you for it.
Yeah.
So that's what made this scenario so interesting to me. I'm like, well, would they contradict themselves here? It is a different committee now, but nevertheless, it's just kind
I
of
think
like,
it would be interesting because of if you lost, but you had the injury. Like if they were healthy and they just lost, I don't think they would basically hold it against them. I think if it was on the edge, they lost, and it's like we're bouncing around at who's the 12th, the 11th team, right? Because obviously the 12th team's a G5 team. If we're bouncing around who that's supposed to be, and we see Miami's fully healthy, we see, Oregon's fully healthy, USC's fully healthy, they all have 2 losses like that. Like I could see them making the argument of, well, they're all 2-loss teams, but this one team doesn't have their quarterback, right? And they don't really have a backup because their backup's already out for the year. So they'd pretty much either be doing like Wildcat or whatever else. I could see them saying, we're going to put this other healthy team in that has their guy over that. I don't think it should happen. But if they're a 2-loss team, you're comparing it to those other 2-loss teams.
nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very
We'd have to
interesting.
have a whole episode on this.
Yeah. Probably. Well, let's go to Heisman. Let's go to Heisman rankings as we're getting ready to the season's winding down here. So, Adam, who has the most snaps in college football this year? Do you know?
Oh man, that is a great question.
You're usually the stats department, Damien. Shouldn't you know this?
No, I'm just asking Adam the hypothetical because whoever that is should be the
It should absolutely be the
Has to be
Heisman.
the Heisman.
Yeah, we don't care if you're setting
should
records as a running back or putting up generational stats. How many snaps have you played?
yeah. How many snaps have you played this year?
Do we have any two-way players? There's like some FCS player out there doing two. There's got to be
I
one
think
somewhere.
Coy Parrish does some a little bit, doesn't he, Cooper?
Yes, he does.
There it is, Coy Parrish.
He played both sides of the ball for sure. He's definitely a decent receiver when he gets the opportunity.
You know, the most snaps is probably Haynes King for some reason. Just
Yeah.
because.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Probably.
Google. There's no single player with the most snaps in college football this year as that data isn't tracked comprehensively.
Oh,
They
it was
screwed
tracked
AI.
last year.
Oh,
It was tracked last year.
Yeah, I bet it was.
They got rid of it.
Yeah, it doesn't fit their narrative anymore. But oh, really interesting because I want to do this because there's been the push recently for Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech to I guess that's probably what they would do at quarterback is just throw Jacob Rodriguez back there because they've been doing some wildcat with him anyways. But
do it.
What's your Heisman rankings, and do you have Jacob Rodriguez on there anywhere, Adam?
I didn't get too far into it. I don't have him like top 3. I don't hate it though. We're having, it seems like the national media is kind of having this late push because they've realized like the guys that they've been putting up there are kind of lame. Like I don't even know the best way to put it. Like we're talking about like I've talked about Julian saying so many times, like there's no disrespect. The guy is doing everything right as a quarterback at Ohio State. But I just don't think the Heisman should go to the guy who doesn't turn the ball over, who's throwing to generational receivers, and like I don't know. You watch him, it's like, okay, yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to do. There's nothing electric going on. It's just kind of like, yeah, that's a good throw to. Oh, which first round NFL draft pick he's throwing to this week?
Right, like it feels like it has to be like Mendoza, Marcel Reed, like one of those kind of two, right? I mean, those are kind of the two favorites at the moment.
Personally, just the way that I've always gauged the Heisman and what I look for is never what the national media's got at the top. Right now, if I'm picking 3, I'm picking Mendoza, I'm picking Jeremiah Love, and I'm picking Haynes King. I think those 3 are the most electric 3 that you can pick right now. They're walking highlight reels. Mendoza maybe even not so much, but that guy makes some crazy throws. He's fun to watch. I want a guy who's fun to watch. I want a guy who's electric. I want a guy who's really likable. I want a guy who has the stats. Those 3 really, they carry their teams. I love it. Cooper?
So my rankings probably is just one guy. It's Mendoza. I think that he's probably the very easy pick for the Heisman. I do, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I do 100% agree with you, Adam, on the Julian saying thing. This is weird. We're agreeing too much. We need to start arguing more.
Is it because Hank's not here?
I know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
Probably.
Yeah. We need to do more of these.
So what's your thoughts on IU Ohio State?
Don't push it. No, but the Julian saying thing, I 100% agree. It's the idea that you are a good enough quarterback. You're just the distributor of the ball. You're the guy that gets it into the people's hands that have a hell of a lot more talent than you do, and you let them do the work, and you play great within a system. Ohio State, yeah. Ohio State in general is an amazing, they got 2 great coordinators. So, I mean, like I said it a couple weeks ago, I'd take like at least 5 guys, at least, probably more than 5 guys on the defensive side of the ball over Julian Sand to pick over for the Heisman. Downs is amazing. He'd be my number 1 on if we were picking from Ohio State. But regardless of that, like Mendoza, yeah, like that's the difference is like Mendoza is the big guy on the Indiana side that really pushes the ball down the field. And it really looks like, okay, he's got NFL talent. You can see it when you watch him. I like him as my number 1 guy. I also like the Haynes King thing. He's literally just carrying Georgia Tech. And
he is Georgia
I'm
Tech.
very interested about that last game against Georgia, though. I'm very interested to see how he plays against Georgia in that type of an environment. And I also like Rodriguez. I mean, looking at some of his numbers, I understand that, again, it feels like the Heisman it's a lot like other MVPs of other like of the NFL. It's an offensive award. Like the idea that a defensive guy is going to be able to get that opportunity, it's, near impossible. But I like Rodriguez. I saw something online too that they were like intentionally giving him snaps on the offense to try to boost his Heisman chances.
Do it.
We're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. Like they got him.
Year.
They got him like a rushing touchdown. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Like trying to get him more notoriety on the offensive side. But those would be my 3. I'd put Rodriguez in that top 3.
Like it. Can we
Yeah.
at least agree that maybe if to win a Heisman, you should at least be the best player on your own team?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe we can start there.
I figured, that'd be the first thing.
That's just what she's saying out there. I'm like, okay, I'm watching him play with 3 other guys that are technically better than him. If you're doing a hierarchy on his own team,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't know.
I do think if I were thinking, I would also have Marcel Reed in there. He's been very good. His stats are very comparable to.
It's fun to watch.
He's been very comparable to Mendoza. They're only separated by 10 passing yards. Reed has more rushing yards, less touchdowns, but still I do think he would be in there, but I think Hayden's King right now. This guy who's no one's really talking about as much. He's 3,000 total yards. He leads his team in passing and rushing.
It's insane.
He has more rushing touchdowns than he has passing touchdowns. He's been doing everything for Georgia Tech.
I don't know what we have to do to get the media to hey, these guys are college football, man. These guys are awesome. Can we please?
He has as much total yards as Mendoza or Reed when you combine them. I don't care that he's 400 yards passing less. He's got 500 more rushing yards than them. You know what I mean? I don't care that he only has 10 passing touchdowns this year. He's got 24 total touchdowns.
It's awesome.
It's great. But let's move on because Adam's going to crash out right here for a second.
Crash out. But...
And I know what this is. It's because of the late season schedules that these teams put together. This week, again, you have Texas A&M versus Samford, Georgia versus Charlotte.
Just hang on. All right. Let me.
Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Texas A&M, the number 3 team in the country with 2 games left, is facing Samford, who I believe has 1 win this season. By the way, the almighty SEC,
not
former
Stanford,
SEC
Samford.
champ, Samford, which might be. I might. What, Stanford -10 maybe in that game. UGA, the mighty SEC champions, taking on Charlotte. 2 weeks to go. Alabama, the almighty dynasty we all get to grow up with every year, man. What they faced last year? The Citadel at this time, something like that. I don't know.
Hey, don't disrespect
Eastern Illinois. Pretty sure I could drive to Eastern Illinois and miss it. I think it's right down the road from me. Didn't even know it. Auburn facing Mercer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
South Carolina is facing Coastal Carolina. At least that one's a little interesting because South Carolina sucks. And then Clemson.
Yeah.
Who we all had winning the ACC at the beginning of the year, who we all had in the playoff at the beginning of the year, is facing Furman. Why? Why do we do this every year? We're getting to the end of the season, man. We should all be hyped looking at all these teams playing awesome games and wondering what could happen, and we're just taking the week off. You seen the schedule this week? USC, Oregon. That's it. It's the only game that's interesting. Oh, what are we doing? I don't. Is it, the SEC's changing to 9 games next year? Or do we get to get rid of this, or are they still gonna pull this shit? I don't know.
I mean, they probably just take one of the early ones and move it to that one because they basically look at this as a pseudo bye week later in the year where you're not allowed. You know what I mean?
Oh, we started the season against somebody,
no, I know.
So we get to face Eastern Illinois with 2 weeks left in the season.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to do this later in the season thing still.
I think playing a non-con game this late in the year would be cool. I wish also, 2 weeks to go. Why can't Bama go face I don't know, Georgia Tech or something? Why can't Florida go face Wake Forest? I would even
It also goes back to the thing we were saying earlier. You lose early in the season, it doesn't matter as much if you lose late in the season. These teams want these layups late in the season because it's basically a pseudo bye week. You get a little bit more healthy, and you don't have to worry about taking a bad loss late, right? They would rather have their loss be early in the season because they'll be like, oh, we didn't know what our team was yet, or whatever, and go from there. Right? That's what's going to happen. Even with the new 9-game SEC schedule, it's going to be the same crap.
I hate it, man. I hate it. It shouldn't be allowed. It just shouldn't be allowed. Like there needs to be a cut on playing FCS teams. Like I don't care. Go play Group of 5 team. If you really want to do this, go play a Group of 5 team at least. Don't play Furman, Eastern Illinois. I didn't even know Eastern Illinois was a school. I live by Eastern Illinois.
Should be cut from having an independent school, anyways. So
there it is.
join a conference.
Play UConn.
Don't
talk about UConn like that.
Isn't UConn like 8-3?
Yeah, they're really good actually.
Don't disrespect UConn.
All right, let's move over to talking about preview week 13 now. Let's start with USC Oregon. This game's in Eugene. 9.5-point favorites are Oregon here. Over under 59.5 is a 3:30 Eastern time kick, so 12:30 local. Adam, what do you got?
USC money line. Bet the spread because every time I say that the spread hits, but the money line doesn't. But no, I really like USC in this game. I don't know if they'll win. I like when I get a game like this, I like just saying, all right, you might as well just take a money line bet on it because I think USC can hang. Oregon's offense doesn't seem as they did score some points last week, which was good to see, but sometimes Oregon's offense kind of looks a little suspect, and I think maybe USC can keep them in the game. I'd argue USC has the better offense in this game for sure. So,
yeah, I mean,
I think they can hang. That's all. They got a chance.
I mean, the one thing, go to your point, Oregon doesn't have their top 3 or 4 receivers. They're all out with injury, right? So it's going to really, I think what the key to the game is going to come down to, can USC stop the run? That's not something they've done very well this year. That's something Oregon will do. They have 3 very good running backs. They're light on pass catchers at the moment. If Oregon just runs it down your throat, that's where it's going to come into.
I'd also give Oregon the whole defensive advantage in this game too, just that being said. But I just think, you know what? USC can hang. USC's got an explosive offense. But Kyle Lemon's insane.
Yeah. It's a big-time game for Lincoln Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. Cooper?
Thank you for stealing my point, Damien. That's what I was going to bring up, was about the fact that Oregon's running game is pretty good, and I think they can make up for it. And I think Oregon's going to cover and beat USC. I'm going to go Oregon on that. I think this is a game that Oregon kind of, as far as the USC thing, I mean, it feels like they're up and down every week as far as, like, can they really compete against good teams or not? Like we said, their big win against Iowa was their biggest win, and, one of the biggest wins for Lincoln Riley at USC. I think they're riding high right now, and I think Oregon, even with down a couple of receivers, is going to still cover and beat them.
What about the over-under?
Say again?
It's on the over-under. It's 59.5.
Oh, and the over-under? I'd probably take the over on that.
Same.
Okay. Next one, Mizzou going to Norman to face Oklahoma. 7.5-point favorites, Oklahoma, 41.5. This is a noon Eastern time kickoff. Cooper?
I think Missouri covers here. Like we talked about Oklahoma, like getting, box score wise, got crushed by Alabama and still won the game. Kudos to them. But I think Oklahoma will still win. But I think it'll be close enough to get Missouri to cover that.
Over under 41.5.
I'd take the over again.
Okay.
This game has potential to be really gross. Just for that, I'd say Missouri covers. OU, you're right about OU. It's kind of like, even in their game last week, like, yeah, they find a way to win. But that seems to be their thing, is finding a way to win, not necessarily covering spreads. So OU, and man, that seems like a low total to me, but yeah, let's go with the theme there. It's gonna be an ugly game. Let's go under.
Pitt going to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech 2.5-point favorites. The over/under for this game 62.5. It's a 7 p.m. Eastern time kick there. Adam, what do you got?
It's gonna be such a fun game, dude.
Yeah,
Pitt's got a fun offense. Georgia Tech is obviously, as we said, a lot of fun. This is gonna be an awesome game. It's 2.5. Give me Georgia Tech. Let's go over. It's gonna be a crazy game.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to go opposite. I think Pitt is going to win outright money line. And coming off that bad loss against Notre Dame, I think they'll be ready to play against Georgia Tech, and I'm going to go under.
Be a dogfight game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. BYU going to Nippert, going to Cincy. BYU 2.5-point favorites right here, over under 54.5. This is at 8 p.m. Eastern time kickoff. Cool.
I think BYU beats them bad. I got BYU money line for sure, and I think it is over. And I think BYU beats them by like 20. I really like BYU in this game.
Cincinnati's kind of a sneaky team. They got back. They found themselves back ranked last week and then blew it again. They're a sneaky team. It's a scary game, man. This one scares me. I hope BYU wins. I want BYU to win. I'll say BYU covers in a close game. I'll go the under.
Okay.
Bear Bachmeier clutch run with like a minute left. Runs it in, they cover.
All right. Let's look at some of the G5 games because that is the thing we're tracking basically right now. So in the American, Navy's on bye this week. Tulane goes to Temple. North Texas goes to Rice. ECU goes to UTSA. Any of those that catch your eye?
For me, the ECU UTSA one really catches my eye. The UTSA is this sneaky team. On paper, everybody else, like Tulane should beat Temple and North Texas should beat Rice. I mean, on paper, you never know because it's the American. But the UTSA game is the one I look at that maybe UTSA can pull some out. UTSA, they have that home streak going. It's like 22 or 23 game wins at home against in-conference teams, and I think they might continue this streak. I think that'd be the game to watch.
Adam?
Yeah, UTSA is going to win that game. They don't lose at home. They're going to win that game. Don't sleep on Rice's option offense, though. Come on.
Yeah.
Rice's
offense. Rice's option offense versus North Texas, like extreme air out offense, is going to be it's going to be electric. And then just to mention it too, because we were talking about them with the college football playoff hopes, JMU this week has Wazoo at home, 13.5-point favorites. Over under that game is 42.5. I think that's very interesting. I know Washington State isn't the team you think Washington State is, or has been in the past, but still, that's very interesting. And 13.5-point favorites. That's
a lot.
Dude,
yeah.
Washington State's been all over the place this year. I never know. You don't know what you're gonna get from them. Like, we could come out of this game like, holy crap, they won by 2 touchdowns. Wouldn't surprise you. It's a scary game for JMU. I give them credit if they win. They win and cover this game. Like, I'd feel really good about where they're sitting in the standings right now.
Yeah.
Over under 42.5. You taking it?
Way over.
Way over.
Actually, I didn't even know that was the total. I might go bet that right now. Over.
I was surprised when I saw 13.5-point favorites, and then I looked and it was 42.5. I'm like, okay.
That seems gross. That means it'll be under, but I'm going to go bet on it anyway.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'd take Washington State to cover that for sure, and I would also take the over. I mean, this is the same Washington State that had a 3-point loss to Ole Miss, who's considered one of the top 5 teams right now.
Should have won that game, by the way.
Yeah.
Had that game won.
So, I mean, they can play with the best of them. So, yeah, I'd say they definitely cover that at least.
Well, anything else you guys want to wrap up on before we head out?
Hank, is Hank going to be back next week? Is he our friend next week?
Maybe. Who knows?
That's crazy.
I don't know. I kind of like this dynamic. We got a little bit more upbeat and energetic person to kind of host us.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Batflip Entertainment College Football Show.
Yeah.
Show. I hate my friends. I leave for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like being stats department.
Yeah.
A little less pressure.
Yeah, there's no Dodgers games to watch anymore. So what else are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, it is off season for baseball, so I have been doing a bunch of stuff for that. Go watch the baseball show if you haven't.
Yes.
Same YouTube page.
Not the baseball show. The baseball.
Not
show.
the baseball show. That's strictly for college football show.
The
Mhm.
show.
And like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah,
Don't say that enough.
do that.
Like
comment,
the
subscribe.
video.
For sure. Subscribe. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers if you look. All right. We're like at 150. We're very close. Just need you to subscribe and we'll get there.
Yep.
If everyone who listened to this subscribed, we'd have 154.
I think we'd have like 147.
Oh.
We somehow get negative views on episodes. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I've been setting records here, right?
Our shorts do great. They do numbers.
Yeah. Some of them.
Shorts do numbers. All
Except
of them.
when that guy wears the hat weird on there.
Mhm. You mean he wears it like this? Like really high up?
Yeah.
Backwards.
It just sits on his head.
Yeah, I'm backwards. You can see the gap there.
Yep.
But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to this Bat Flip Entertainment College Football show. Maybe I'll have like 5 or 6 shows in there now. At the end. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys back next week.